beautiful bhajan,
Hare Krishna, Mata.
but I don't know what to say, but I have to. Sorry about that. So, thank you, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining us with full enthusiasm as for day one. You all be been joining us. So, really grateful to each and every one of you. So, today is the 14th day of Srimad Bhagavatam challenge reading. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu, who was singing so melodiously, but I have to
Hare
stop him,
Krishna.
interfere in between. Sorry for that. So today the topic is from ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastime of Durvasa Muni and Sri Amrish Maharaj. So before I hand over to His Grace Pran Govind Prabhu, it's my honor and privilege to welcome him and say little few words about him. So today Prabhuji will be speaking, and he is the disciple of His Holiness Bhavanand Swami Maharaj. For many years, he has served the devotees at the ISKCON Alachua temple. He is always enthusiastic about looking to new ventures, making new devotees, and bringing them to the platform to become more sincere and serious followers of Srila Prabhupada. On behalf of ISKCON Bhagavad Mahavidyalaya North America, Prabhuji, we welcome you today, and thank you so much for your wonderful association, and looking forward to hear from you on this wonderful pastime of Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. You can please take over now. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nice to see you all. So I'll continue finishing my singing. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, definitely.
Daya karo Sri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Ramachandra Sangamage Narottama Das Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev Thai Gaur Haribol 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 Nitai Gaur Haribol. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining this session of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on ninth canto, and I'm sure every day you are hearing beautiful pastimes of each canto's overview. Ninth canto, according to Padma Puran, where Ambarish and Durvasa Muni's beautiful pastimes. It main focus is on Isha Anukatha. Isha Anukatha means the topics. The whole ninth canto is topics related to the Lord's devotees and many lessons that we definitely need before we depart from this world or before death comes, you can say, that we need to learn. Otherwise, we have to come back. And I think none of you like to come back to this world. So generally, Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni, of course, 1 hour is very tight, casual, but I understand I have to respect that. I have a bad habit of going on little over, but I'm trying to see the important point. Whenever you think of Ambarish Maharaj or Durvasa, you generally think of offense. Durvasa is anger. I mean, very rarely you Ambarish Maharaj's greatest quality is not only tolerance. The greatest quality.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I muted everybody, so you have to unmute yourself. Yes.
Okay. So, few things before I begin. Maybe you can just keep a note in your consciousness, in your thought. We don't get to choose whether we die, but we get to choose whether we live before we die. And this episode, Ambarish Maharaj beautifully demonstrated how he was fearless of death. At the same time, the person who was supposed to be fearless became the fearful, Durvasa. So death is unavoidable for everyone. Sometimes when we confront death, we may start feeling helpless, especially if someone young dies unexpectedly. However, while we are helpless about the inevitability of death, what we are not helpless about is what we do before death comes upon us. This is demonstrated by Ambarish Maharaj. Will we live in fear of death? I'm asking you a question. Maybe you can ask yourself that question. Will we just waste our time and our lives craving petty pleasure or complaining when we get them? Or will we strive to do something meaningful and valuable, producing something of beauty, thereby living before we die? So I found 4 ways we can look at it from these beautiful pastimes. That this chapter, at least Ambarish Maharaj's 4 or 5 in from ninth canto, gives a beautiful lesson for us that if we sustain in ignorance, we will become overwhelmed and paranoid. Even though Durvasa is an exalted soul, he has some devotion, some aspect, but was paranoid when he saw death. That is why he wanted to avoid. Even a person like so powerful wanted to avoid death, all thoughts of death entirely. And he felt at the end helpless completely. Even though he's the incarnation of Shiva, he has access to converse with Brahmaji. He even went to Vaikuntha to confront or approach the Lord. So it's very interesting. And then another group, you can say, or we can check that if we maintain our life mostly in passion, we will look at death and think we have to enjoy immediately before we lose our life, an opportunity for enjoyment. And then actually when death comes, you will fail. Another group of people like Ambarish Maharaj demonstrated goodness, pure goodness, goodness. When death came, when Durvasa literally tried to destroy Ambarish, he took an opportunity, an impetus to ask what really matters in life the most. And those above goodness, like Ambarish Maharaj, in pure goodness, see death as a doorway to reunite with Krishna in eternal love. And Prabhupada did four things. Generally, I mentioned that before. That before you do, you ask forgiveness to others, and that's exactly happened. That Durvasa came to ask forgiveness, and Ambarish Maharaj actually forgave him. I'm just giving you a little. And Prabhupada did that too. He was a Mahabhagavat, but he called all his god brother, all the well-wisher, and apologized and asked for forgiveness. This is a sign of Mahabhagavad, what Prabhupada did. We can also do this in our life all the time. So if death comes, we will be fearless. So let us begin with that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur comments that if one engage in hearing and chanting while committing any offenses of the 10 offenses to the holy name, he or she will not attain divine love for Krishna. He gave one prescription, one prohibition. One prescription is you hear Bhagavatam and your purpose is to awaken love for the Lord. To awaken love, you have to awaken bhava. To awaken bhava, you have to do daily practice, sadhana. And prohibition is you have to give up the enviousness. Now you may say, what Durvasa had envious? So I don't know how many of you heard that story. Oh, before I start, I wanted to say the falashruti of hearing this pastime. Beautiful. This is in Bhagavatam 9.5.27-28. Iti etad punnam maikhanam ambarishaya bhupate sankirtana anudhayan bhakto bhagavato bhavet. Anyone who chants, means you all are, I am, this narration, or even think of this narration about the activities of Maharaj Ambarish, certainly becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna. What a benediction, Sukdev Goswami. Then the next verse, Ambarishaya charitam je srinati mahatmana muktim te sarve bhukta Vishnu prasadataha. By the grace of the Lord, those who hear these pastimes of Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa certainly becomes liberated or become devotee without delay. So Prabhuji and Mother, please do these three things. Hear it attentively with faith, and then contemplate, and then accept. Just accept. Faith means you accept. Then Lord will enter through the ear to your heart. Karnaranda Patadiya, Ridimaji Praveshya. And then you will experience the pure bhakti. Okay. Maharaj, in a short, okay. Ambarish Maharaj, King Parikshit wanted to know, is there another king who also got cursed? Because King Parikshit got cursed. So when he was hearing from Sukdev Goswami, he was also asking this. And when Sukdev Goswami mentioned, yes, there is a king, Ambarish Maharaj, who got cursed, then immediately he was very curious to hear. Ambarish Maharaj acted as a sadhaka, like us, even though he's pure, but he acted as a sadhaka, like we are very pure, if not all. So in our Brihad Bhagavatam, we see Ambarish Maharaj is higher than uh, higher than Ambarish Maharaj is Hanuman. Hanuman is a Siddha who is in Leela with the Lord. And Sadhaka means not in Leela yet. So Ambarish Maharaj is a perfect example for us. Of course, the previous two chapters gives a description that Navaga was born from Navaga. Ambarish Maharaj was born, and he was the most powerful in that dynasty. He was ruling the entire world, but he considered his opulence is temporary. He was not attached. Ambarish Maharaj's capital was what we call nowadays Madhya Pradesh, around that area. Sanat Kumar was Guru of Ambarish Maharaj. It says in Sanat Sanghita. I traced it. And he was known as a Sanat Kumar's disciple. And he performed 9 processes of bhakti. If I have a time, I'm going to try to squeeze a small pastimes. One time in Mithila, Kanna, Rajkumari Kanna, heard the glories of Ambarish Maharaj. And then she, hearing from Narad Muni, she was so thrilled. She decided, made her life that, made her mind that I want to marry Ambarish Maharaj. But Ambarish Maharaj already was married, had a few wives, but he was not interested. He said, I'm sorry, I'm so busy with my sadhana. Even though he was the ruler of the world, but he was every day busy with the sadhana. He would advise the ministers, but minister mostly would do all the work. But he was very busy. He is a one person, a king, that who would do everything, cleaning the floor. That's why there is a famous verse in his life. You will see all the verses that the 9 process of devotion was exhibited by Ambarish Maharaj. No other example easily given. He was exemplified for that. So I'm just giving you a little preview on that. If you never heard it or you heard it, you will relish it. So then when the proposal came from the Rajkumari that she wants to marry Ambarish Maharaj, he said, I'm sorry, I cannot marry you because I don't have time and I don't have need. I don't need of any. But she said, I already took my vow to marry you. I will not marry anyone. I only will marry you. It's not an option from me, any other option. So Ambarish Maharaj, because her father was also king, so he reciprocated that, okay, if you like to marry, you can marry my soul. So she did that. And when she came, she saw other queens are there, and Ambarish Maharaj is really busy. From Mangalarti till Shayanarati, he is serving the deities, dressing the deities, offering the deities, Arutik, Kirtan, everything he does. There's no, even though he is ruler of the world, but he would personally serve the Lord with his body. So then this queen was looking opportunity. If there is any opportunity to come, that I could serve, I could assist my husband. So then one day, that every day he goes to take bath in the river, and when he comes back, and then he does the aratik, after dressing. So then she would clean the temple. And this way, she did here, there some service, but Ambarish Maharaj was very vigilant. So oh, somebody is doing something. He noticed. So then, when he noticed, then he was hidingly caught her. Said, since you want to do so much service, you have a really deep attraction to serve the Lord? Said, yes. Why don't you take the deity to your palace? I gave you a palace to live. You can worship. She started. She really followed her husband's word. And then Narad Muni came by. Narad Muni says, I was passing by Ambarish Maharaj and I heard beautiful singing and worshipping of the Lord going on in your newly married queens. He said, oh yeah? Yes. So Ambarish Maharaj welcomed Narad Muni and they said, why not we go there also see it? So then he went there. They had a little kirtan and arati. It was nice. And then other queens thought, oh my God, if husband and Narad Muni comes to her palace instead of she goes to Ambarish Maharaj's palace, why not we do it? So everybody started doing it. Ambarish Maharaj was such a lovable personality, a devotee, wonderful devotee, that then the minister started thinking, really? Maybe we should start in our house a big deity, Krishna's deity, and worship the Lord. Then Narad Muni and the king will visit our house. They never could imagine. They did. They started doing this. Then the general, commander, the soldier, Brahmanas, everybody started doing this. The whole country became a temple. Every house became a temple. That's why Ambarish Maharaj was so glorious. Even Indra, he started talking about Ambarish Maharaj. That in the lower planet, in the earthly planet, there's a glorious king, Ambarish Maharaj. He made the citizen glorifying the Lord Vishnu. Unbelievable. Durvasa happened to be there in heaven, listening. He's thinking, Ambarish, I never heard. Who is Ambarish? So then he inquired, who is Ambarish? Now, Durvasa is very well known at that time because Indra uh, learned a big lesson by offending him before. So he's very careful. And so he revealed, oh, he does this, that. Then Durvasa Muni was thinking, I am Brahmana, I am a sannyasi. And Ambarish is Kshatriya, lower, and Grihastha, lower. So Varna and Ashram. Ashram wise, he's lower, and Varna wise also lower. So he came to test. That's how he got this. He came to test, and that's how this episode started. So I'll just go down to the shorter version. I'll just paraphrase what I read instead of going verse by verse. There's no time. I'll just paraphrase the whole thing. So Ambarish Maharaj completely absorbed his entire being within and without in Krishna. The lotus feet of Krishna were present within his pure mind. His voice was filled with Krishna Katha. He cleans his soul by cleaning the temple. Srila Prabhupada write a beautiful in the purport that when devotee dress the deities and clean the temple, actually they are dressing, they are also decorating their heart where Lord will come and sit down. It is necessary every day to look at the deity, do some service every day. That's how heart cleans. Of course, chanting is the most important sadhana with that and practical service. His eyes were beautiful vision of the deities. The only aromas he knew were of tulasi. He would smell tulasi. How many of you do this? Every day smelling tulasi, every day smelling flower. Prabhupada loved smelling the offered flower every day. One devotee told me personally that one day Prabhupada was sitting on a session, and then he asked, where are the flowers? He said, Prabhupada, the outside plant don't have. Prabhupada said, go look at it again. When he looked at behind the bushes, he was shocked. There were so many gardenia, and he plucked those and brought it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was smelling. He was so happy that how was mysteriously those gardenia was there. And Prabhupada then told him that every day you should smell flower. Ambarish Maharaj used to smell those flowers. It increases your lifespan, and you literally can smell Krishna's presence in you. So nice. So he used to smell tulasi, incense, flower offered to Krishna. He released food tasted by Krishna. He walked to and from the temple to his room just for this, nowhere else. Ambarish Maharaj's entire being was saturated with Krishna consciousness. His only motive was to please Krishna. And anyone who's saturated their body, mind, senses, words in the Lord's service, as he did, as Ambarish Maharaj did, will develop deep attraction to the Lord and his pure devotee. The minister, Brahmins, who were the king's well-wisher, advised Ambarish Maharaj on running the affair of his empire. But emperor did not personally perform any religious rituals, but left them to be done by the most dedicated Brahmins. He kept aloof so that he could immerse himself in devotion to the Supreme Lord. Every commentary on Ambarish Maharaj's devotion. Being extremely pleased with Ambarish Maharaj's devotion, in this episode, you will see that Lord actually gave him the protection of his Sudarshan Chakra, who is always ready to shield the Lord's devotee from harm. Sudarshan, as long you are chanting, Prabhupada and Mother, remember this, as long you are chanting. Mahaprabhu told this in Srivas Thakur's house about this. Tumi bhalo chintile na karo moi bol, tuma lagi moro chakra hoilo before. Because Haridas Thakur was thinking well-wishing for others. Sudarshan Chakra could not do anything, but Sudarshan Chakra was there. And there it says, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur also gave a comment, when we chant, we serve, actually Sudarshan Chakra is there to protect us. We should remember that. Ambarish Maharaj actually is the exemplifying of that. To satisfy Krishna, Ambarish Maharaj and his queen observed Ekadashi and Dadoshi vow for one full year on the bank of Jamuna in Mathura. This is this episode. And at the end of Brata, in the month of Kartik, after 3 nights fasting, Ambarish bathed in Jamuna and went to Madhuban in Vrindavan to worship Krishna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in his, I read, Maharaj Ambarish had observed the vow of Ekadashi throughout his life, yet he yearned to observe it for a year in the holy land of Mathura. At the end of this brata, fasting for 3 nights is recommended. This means to eat simple prasadam, havishanna, once at midday on the Dashami and Dadoshi, and to maintain a dry fast throughout the whole of Ekadashi day and night. Ambarish Maharaj performed great abhishek that day bathing ceremony of Krishna on a grand scale, according to Vedic rituals, with Panchagabha, Panchamrita, Sarvaushadhi, Mahaushadhi, and so on. He decorated with jewelry and fineries, gave away silk clothes, cows, other expensive gifts to the Brahmanas. At home, he distributed to the sadhus and Brahmins millions of cows, whose horns, hooves were gilded with gold and silver. He held a grand feast for all the Brahmanas. While Ambarish Maharaj was preparing to break his fast under the direction of self-satisfied and desireless Brahmanas, the mystic Durvasa, as I mentioned the past time, he wanted to test. He just arrived at his house. Ambarish Maharaj respectfully received the exalted sage. He sat at the Muni's feet and begged him to honor prasadam at his home. Oh, you travel so long. Please take some prasadam. The sage graciously accepted the invitation, saying that he had first to complete his daily ablution, therefore would be ready to eat. The sage went to bathe in the Jamuna, and after his rituals, went into deep meditation. Meanwhile, the auspicious moment for Ambarish to break his fast was coming to an end. But for a host to eat before a Brahman guest is a transgression of proper etiquette. I hope we can learn that and remember that. But if you have a guest, you first, or you can take prasadam. It depends how distant or close with the guest. So emperor turned to his Brahmana advisor, but they were perplexed and remained silent. Ambarish decided, so they advised that you can drink water. In water is a drinking water is breaking and not breaking, both can be applied. And the bar, if you look at the bars, is a beautiful bars that apshnat nati tan naiva shitam naiva shi naiva na shitam naiva shitam naiva na shitam means it is not any illegal. It is legal. Legally, you can do it if you have a guest and you guest is not honoring on time before Paran. And then Paran means there is a time casual that you have to honor the or break the Ekadashi before this time. So Ambarish Maharaj was very careful. So drinking water can either be considered eating or not eating, both. But Brahmins consented to this course of action. So what did he do? The king then meditated on the Supreme Lord, drank a little water, waited for the sage's return. Durvasa Muni had completed his rituals and returned to the palace. When he saw with his mystic power that emperor had drank water, which is not really a big deal. I hope Durvasa Muni doesn't get angry with me. But it's a fact that it is not a big deal, just a little drinking water. Durvasa was outraged. He began to chastise Ambarish Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hand. Look at this cruel man, intoxicated with the pride of wealth. You think that you are God, although actually you are not even a devotee. Literally, he said like this, you have transgressed the laws of religion by inviting me to dine as your guest, then eating yourself without first feeding me. Eating yourself without first feeding me. That was the offense. Now I shall show you what happens to those who commit wicked deeds like this. Durvasa Muni tore a matted braid from his head and created a demon from it. The fearsome fire demon held a trident in his hand and stamped around, making the entire earth tremble. Now you have to remember, Durvasa is actually incarnation of Shiva. It's very powerful. But Ambarish remained calm. Then Supreme Lord Sudarshan Chakra, already residing with Ambarish on the Lord's order. Now, why the Sudarshan Chakra is there? Anytime any devotee chants, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, one verse says, anytime any devotee is serving the Lord, Sudarshan Chakra always there. We should remember that. No fear when you are serving, as long as you are serving. Durvasa Muni was stunned by the destruction of this demon. He then saw ominous Sudarshan rushing towards him. He ran in fear for his life. But wherever he ran, this followed right behind, scalding his back with incinerating heat. Sudarshan Chakra produced so hot, hotter than sun. Means you cannot just wait. You have to just run and run and run. In the palaces of kings, in the ocean, everywhere he went, he felt flaming disc bearing down on him. He went to Brahmaji, Shivji, begging for shelter. Come on, Brahmaji, I'm a Brahman. You are my origin. Please help me. Sorry, I can't. He went to Shivaji, said, I'm from you. They refused, knowing that he was an offender. Why they did not help? Knowing that he's an offender. That is the point. So this is a key point. When we're offender, we're doomed, in a sense. Shiva advised him to surrender to Supreme Lord because he prayed to Shiva. Durvasa Muni left the universe, entered in Vaikuntha, the spiritual abode of Sri Narayan, threw himself at the feet of Lord, who was relaxing with his consort Sri Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune. With his body trembling, constantly feeling the heat of Sudarshan, Durvasa prayed at the Lord's feet. Oh, my Supreme Lord, I have offended one of your favorite devotees. Please, if even a person living in hell becomes liberated simply by vibrating your name, so nice. He established very unique. Then nothing is impossible for you. Please save me. This is a very important sloka. We should remember this. Lord replied, I am completely under the control of my devotee. I am now freedom. I live happily within their hearts. Even those who are devotees of my devotees are very dear to me. Bhakta paradhina hi ashatantra ibadija. 9.4.63 in case if you want to memorize that. Sadhuvir grastari dayo bhaktir bhakta jana priya. O Brahman, I completely under the control of my devotee. I have no freedom. I live happily within their hearts. Where God lives, in the heart of devotee. We should always focus there. Even those who are devotee of my devotee, not only devotee, those who are Prabhupada's heart, those who are following Prabhupada or your guru, you following, it is Lord also residing in your heart now. Not as a Paramatma, but as Bhagavan. And then he said, without them, I'm nothing. Oh, Brahmana, this Brahma, Rudra, and other gods are subordinate to me and were thereby unable to protect you. I too am subordinate to my devotee. I am thus unable to protect. Can you imagine? Krishna, Vishnu said he cannot protect. God himself put under devotees' protection, under devotees' care. That's why he chose. Of course, he is ultimate supreme, uh, independent, but he made his choice. I love them so much, Krishna says. I even hold dear those who they protect. O best of Brahmana, Durvasa, without the devotees who have taken complete shelter of me, I desire to enjoy the eternal ecstasy. This is another verse. The Lord is a possessor of all wealth, beauty, and everything. But here, Lord reveals, I don't want to enjoy any of my opulence without my devotee. That's why in Vrindavan we see Brajabashi. They love him, he loves Brajabashi. God will never want to enjoy on his own. He wants to enjoy with the devotees. Devotees are the essence of my pleasure-giving potency, Ladini Shakti. It is they who give me joy. By offending Maharaj Ambarish, you are running yourself. When one's power is used against a devotee, it harms only the one who employs it. It is the agent, not the who is harmed. The nature of the devotee is in no way less than mine. The devotees are my only object of desire. How could I possibly abandon those devotees who have given their life? Prabhu's and Mother, you ask yourself, you giving your life. Right now, you listening about Lord's feeling for his devotee. It's a fact. So you giving your time, you giving your attention, you giving your physical body to hear. This is how we give our life. And Lord says, when we give our life, Lord also reside with us. He doesn't want to live anywhere else. Just like he gave an example, a faithful wife wins her husband's love by her loyalty. I have similarly been won over by my devotees who worship me with attachment while showing equanimity to all living beings. My devotees are completely satisfied by their service to me. They do not even show interest in the four kinds of liberation that come to them as a side effect of the service. Waiting for an opportunity to serve, it is thus easy to see they would have no interest in lesser achievement like heaven. Then he quoted another verse, 9.4.60, his famous verse. Sadhavaridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam toaham madanne tena janati aham tebba manangapi. I am the heart of the devotee. They are my heart. What is heart means? Center of consciousness. Thinking, willing, feeling. You feel what you think of, Lord, like that. They know nothing other than me. I know nothing other than them. Hari Baba, then who is running the world? He appointed somebody to run. Oh, Brahman, I'll tell you how you can be saved from this curse that has befallen on you. Go to the person whom you have offended without delay. If one curses a devotee under my protection, then that curse will return to the one who has cursed, cause him no end of grief. Vidya, what is that? Vidya, tapo vidya cha vipranam. That's another verse, very famous. That austerity and learning are certainly good for a Brahmin, but they can be dangerous for anybody who lacks humility. Spiritual power, knowledge of magic can have an effect opposite to one intended for such a person. I wish the best for you, O best of the Brahmana. Therefore, I tell you, go to Ambarish Maharaj. Pacify him for this. He is the only way, this is the only way you can ever find peace again. So after hearing this, Durvasa heard very attentively, he contemplated. Wow, never heard before. The devotees of the Lord more powerful than the Lord when my connection with the Lord, devotee. So Durvasa Muni rushed back to Ambarish Maharaj, fell at his feet, clasped them tightly. Emperor was extremely embarrassed at having Durvasa. Durvasa is humble. He was not, proud. Okay, look, you offended me now. No, no, no. He fell at the feet. He said, "What are you doing? No, no, you are a great Brahmana." Then he prayed to the Sudarshan Chakra. Ambarish Maharaj prayed to Sudarshan Chakra. O protector of the devotee, Sudarshan Chakra, you destroy all the weapons. You destroy the subtle body of the soul. You are most powerful. Vaishnava. You are an expansion of divine power. You dissipate ignorance, reveal devotion to the Lord. You terminate the jiva's vision of being Maya's master. Give him the beautiful vision of servitorship in the form of Sambandha Gyan. You are the most beloved devotee of the Lord. I have forgiven Durvasa, so I beg you, forgive him, please. He prayed to Sudarshan Chakra for Ambarish Maharaj. Sudarshan Chakra was pacified and saved Durvasa Muni from the pain of its scorching heat. Durvasa Muni repeatedly blessed Ambarish Maharaj, saying, "My dear king, today I have experienced the greatness of the devotee. For although I have committed an offense, you prayed for my good fortune. Prabhu's and mother, pray for others. Pray for other family member or community member that are not advancing. Pray for them. Lord, it makes Lord's happy. He will give you attention." So simply by hearing the Lord's name, one is purified. What is impossible for his devotees? You are so merciful that you overlooked my offense, saved my life. I am eternally indebted to you. Durvasa Muni expressed his deep gratitude to Maharaj Ambarish. With this and many other prayer for the entire year, just think, one Ekadashi he wanted to break. He had to suffer for 26 Ekadashi, the whole year. He was chased. Be very careful. Never commit offense to any devotee, because we are trying to be also advanced devotee. He now fell at Durvasa's feet. In all humility, begged him to eat. After the sage has been sumptuously fed, while he was eating, he was crying. He could not believe that devotee has more power than Krishna. Now, Krishna does not give Krishna bhakti. It is Krishna bhakta gives Krishna bhakti. Bhakta sanjayate bhakta. Krishna bhakti janma mula hoy sadhu sangha. Krishna prema janmete hu punamukha. Mahaprabhu says, "My dear king, I'm so pleased with you. At first, I thought you were just an ordinary person. Now I understand that you are extremely exalted devotee. Therefore, simply by seeing you, touching your feet, talking to you, I feel purified, blessed. May you be glorified in heaven and on earth until the end of time." Satisfied with Ambarish Maharaj, Durvasa praised him at great length before finally talking his lip. Then, by his mystic power, he went to Brahmaloka, which is inaccessible to those philosophers. This is I don't know how many of you know, this is beautiful. And that I read yesterday, that in Brahmaloka, mostly the impersonalist, and he talked about this beautiful episode. A full year transpired from the moment that Durvasa fled unfed from Ambarish palace with Sudarshan Chakra at his heels until the time he returned. During this entire time, Ambarish had waited patiently for his return, drinking only water. Rajava Bhaksha Bhabuba Ha, Sukdev Goswami says. Only after Durvasa returned, after he had fed him, other Brahmana, the finest rice and vegetable dishes, did the great soul Ambarish himself dine. When he saw how Durvasa had been freed from the great danger, observed by his own qualities of patience and tolerance, the emperor did not see these things as being a result of his own virtue, but as the doing of the Supreme Lord. In this way, Ambarish Maharaj remained perfectly free of pride. This is distinguishing characteristics of the Krishna's Bhakta. In the days that followed, Ambarish Maharaj continued to lead virtuous life, engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord, cleansing the temple, always absorbed in act of devotion to the one absolute truth, Vasudev, who is manifest variously. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, he has a good understanding. He considered even the topmost material planet of Brahmaloka with all its opulence and pleasure to be nothing more than a royal version of hell. Do we feel like that? At the conclusion of this story, Sukdev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj, as a side effect of his single-minded devotion to God, Krishna, Ambarish Maharaj became free of even faintest desire for his own sense gratification. In the end, he placed his own sons, who were as virtuous as he, on the throne, parted for the forest to end his days in service of the Lord through remembrance, or what we call Manasa Seva. I think all of us should practice this every day. Do few minutes every day Manasa Seva. It will remove false ego. It's necessary. Bow down to the Lord. Glorify the Lord. Literally in Manasa Seva, engage the mind. Krishna says this, Mayeva mana adhasta, may buddhi niveshaya. If you do this, you will live with him, or Krishna will enter in with you. The point being emphasized in the Leela that if we have committed an offense, we must submissively approach the same devotee whom we have offended and beg his forgiveness. Now, there is another reference I found also, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives, that if you commit an offense to someone, you try to ask for forgiveness. And if you don't get it, find a senior devotee who can mitigate. And even if senior devotee cannot do it, then do something that devotee who you committed offense are very much busy every day doing that service. Try to help that service in direct. Try to help. If everything fails, then take shelter of the holy name and you'll get out of the offense. Okay, we can say more, but I'll stop here if anybody has further discussion or any comment. Otherwise, I can go a little more. Yes, Praladananda Das. Oh,
Dandava Pranam
Las
Prabhuji.
Vegas. Hare Krishna.
Right.
What a nice.
Good. Maharaj, Prabhuji, you started the discourse with 4 things before leaving the body. I'm recently diagnosed with coronary artery disease and I can live any time. So I want to know, you mentioned about the forgiveness from all, Sri Prabhupada also exemplified that. So what are the other 3 I would like to list?
First thing, we should any regret.
Okay.
We should always appreciate whoever did, even your childhood, somebody helped you. Some way find out that person and say, thank you. You, when I was a child, you helped me. Anywhere anybody does, it's nice. It's not that we can just leave the world and I may say, I don't have any attachment in this world. But what if somebody holding a grudge against me? Now, some of Prabhupada's God brother, they literally said, you can hear that lecture, Prabhupada. There's a beautiful picture also in Lilamrita that Prabhupada's God brother, they all came. And Prabhupada said, I many things that out of preaching that you all are not doing the preaching exactly like this. And Prabhupada did say, but he apologized. He said, just for the preaching said I have, but I do love all of you because you all have served. But then they said, no, 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 nothing you did wrong. It's all right. It's all good. This is a sign of Mahabhagavat. Prabhupada did not actually have to beg apology, but he did so wonderful for us. So we can do that. Then you express, second thing, that before you depart or before I depart or anybody depart, that I love you all. Let them also say that they love you. Say such a way, whoever is there in the audience, you will know what to say. Also say, we love you also. It's not a word, it's that the feeling actually loses the grip against that person. I'm not saying, you have or I have, but what if somebody is holding? It's good, healthy. Dhruva Maharaj left, the Vaikuntha airplane came. He did not say, hey, okay, I made it, I'm going. No. If you read that part, commentary, he literally folded hand and said to all the Brahmanas, by you all mercy, you all have helped me. Today what I see, Vaikuntha airplane is here. Please, kept on showering your mercy. When I arrived in Vaikuntha, I'll talk to the Lord that because of all of your compassion, mercy, I have come to Vaikuntha, but you all have to be there also. I'll pray for you all. This is a great example. Even though there may be nothing personal, but you can say, I forgive if there is anything that bothered me by any of you, my wife, my husband, my children, whoever it is there, that I forgive. Please forgive me also. Ask, can you forgive me also if I have done something that I may not be even aware? Then you're done, completely free. When you leave, nothing in this world that can hold you back or pull you back. Is it difficult? Maybe, maybe not. It depends how my heart is clear. I hope that gives you, Prabhu. And you are
Yes.
very intelligent. You'll pick it up.
Very well, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We have 2 minutes. Any reflection? Anyone has anything you take away from these Ambarish Maharaj's and Durvasa Muni's? Those verses are Jannama Sruti Matrena Puman Bhavati Nirmala. He quoted this. He said, just by hearing the name, everything get purified. So nice. He knew the secret, even though he acted in a way that demonstrated the power of the holy name. Okay. There is something in the chat. I don't have access. Let's see if I have access.
Yes, everybody is qualifying for the wonderful session.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you so
That's
much.
difference. But if nobody has question, then we can close or no takeaway.
Okay, Prabhuji, I don't see any raised hands. I don't see any chat questions. But thank you. Thank you for the wonderful session. You really churned the entire pastime very nicely and explained us that how we have to be very, very careful in committing offenses or in doing anything against the Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
So yes, Praladananda Prabhu also I agree You said you have been diagnosed with some disease, but just like Sukadev Goswami said, that everybody is a dying person at every moment.
Yes.
We don't know when that death will come to us. So everybody has an urgency to follow Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
I want to say that. So thank you so much, Pran. Govind Prabhu. Really grateful to you. Really appreciate your time and your wonderful session. And thank you, dear devotees. Thank you for joining us. See you all tomorrow with another
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
session with another wonderful speaker. So we'll end up, Prabhu, here. Thank you so much.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Vancha
Hare Krishna,
kalpatarusya
Hare
kripa
Krishna,
sindhubheva
Krishna
patitanam pavaneभ्यो
Ram Ram,
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Srila Prabhupada ki
की जय
Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Thank you,
Pranam,
dear
Pranam.
devotees. So I'm ending the call. See you all tomorrow. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Bol.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you very much.